A war that lasted 10 years. Thousands of warriors dead. The greatest heroes of Greece. All trapped in a stalemate. Even Achilles, the strongest warrior alive, could not end it. The walls of Troy stood unbroken. The Greek army was exhausted. Hope was fading. And then, one man had an idea. Not a weapon. Not an army. But a lie so powerful, it would destroy an entire city. His name was Odysseus. And what he did next changed the fate of history forever. By the end of this video, you'll discover how Odysseus outsmarted kings, warriors, even gods. The dark truth behind the Trojan Horse. Why he was both a hero and a manipulator. And how his intelligence made him the most dangerous man in the war. Because in the Trojan War, strength could win battles, but only intelligence could win the war. Before the war, before the legends, before Troy burned, Odysseus was just a king. The ruler of a small island called Ithaca. Unlike other Greek kings, Odysseus didn't crave war. He wasn't obsessed with glory like Achilles. He wasn't driven by honor like Hector. He valued something else. Survival. Strategy. Intelligence. When the call for war came, after Helen of Troy was taken, Odysseus already knew something others didn't. This war would not end quickly. And he wanted no part of it. So he did something shocking. He tried to fake insanity. When Greek leaders came to recruit him, Odysseus pretended to have lost his mind. He yoked a donkey and an ox together, plowed his fields in chaos, and sowed salt instead of seeds. To anyone watching, he looked completely insane. But one man wasn't convinced. A warrior named Palamedes. To test Odysseus, he placed Odysseus' infant son in front of the plow. And in that moment, Odysseus revealed the truth. He swerved, saving his child, proving he was sane all along. And just like that, he was forced into a war he never wanted. But that war would soon need him more than anyone realized. For years, the Greeks fought Troy. And for years, they failed. The city's walls were too strong. Its defenses too great. Even with warriors like Achilles ix Diomedes, Troy did not fall. Because war is not just about strength. It's about position, timing, and intelligence. And slowly, the Greeks began to realize something terrifying. They could not win this war by fighting alone. Odysseus was different. While others fought on the battlefield, he studied it. He observed weaknesses. He manipulated situations. He understood something others ignored. The mind is the most powerful weapon in war. He was the architect behind several critical moments. He helped recruit Achilles into the war. He advised leaders like Agamemnon. He planned strategic raids and deception missions. But his greatest idea had not yet come. Because after nearly 10 years, the war reached a breaking point. The Greek army was exhausted. Morale was collapsing. Supplies were running low. Even their greatest heroes were dying. And Troy still stood. At that moment, most men would have given up. But not Odysseus. Because desperation doesn't break geniuses. It creates them. And then, he had an idea. An idea so simple. It seemed impossible. Instead of attacking Troy, Odysseus suggested something unthinkable. Pretend to lose. The Greeks would abandon their camps, burn their tents, sail away. Or appear to. And leave behind one thing. A massive wooden horse. A gift. An offering to the gods. But hidden inside that horse would be elite Greek warriors, including Odysseus himself. It was not just a trick. It was psychological warfare. A test of Trojan pride. And it worked. When the Trojans saw the horse, they were confused. Some were suspicious. Others celebrated. A priest named Laocoon warned them. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts. But no one listened. Because humans often believe what they want to believe. And what Troy wanted was for the war to be over. So they dragged the horse inside their city. And that night, they sealed their fate. As darkness covered the city, the warriors inside the horse waited. Silent. Still. Deadly. Then, in the middle of the night, they emerged. They opened the gates and signaled the Greek army, which had secretly returned. What followed was not a battle. It was a massacre. Troy burned. Its people slaughtered. Its kingdom erased from history. And all of it because of one idea. One plan. One mind. Odysseus. But here's where the story becomes uncomfortable. Was Odysseus a hero? Or something else? Because unlike warriors who fought with honor, Odysseus won through deception, lies, manipulation, psychological warfare. He didn't just defeat Troy. He outsmarted it. And that raises a disturbing question. Is intelligence more dangerous than strength? Because strength destroys bodies. But intelligence can destroy entire civilizations. After the war, Odysseus did not return home as a simple hero. His journey became one of the greatest epics ever told. The story of the Odyssey. A journey filled with monsters, gods, and impossible challenges. Because even though Odysseus won the war, he would spend years suffering the consequences of it. As if the gods themselves were reminding him. No victory comes without a cost. So, who was Odysseus? A king? A warrior? A genius? Or the most dangerous man in the Trojan War? Because while others relied on strength, Odysseus used something far more powerful. The human mind. And in the end, that mind brought down a city that no army could destroy. But Odysseus' story doesn't end here. Because after Troy, his real nightmare begins. A journey across the seas, filled with monsters, curses, and gods who wanted him dead. A journey that would test not his strength, but his intelligence. The Odyssey. And trust me, That story is even more insane.